What's up, everyone? We got another garden tour. We have been having some really hot weather.
Yep.
Been crazy. So we got a lot of stuff in here that are going to seed, and we also have a lot of stuff planted in the garden. So, but we also have a lot more to plant in the garden.
We're not done yet.
Nope. So let's take a look at this quick, and then we'll take a look at the garden. So in here, a lot of the spinach actually started falling over. So I tied this one up. We had actually two of them tied up, but right in here, they kept, the other one broke right in the center, but at least they're breaking like 2 or 3 inches up from the bottom. So I don't know what's going on. They probably definitely weren't used to the breezes that we were getting either. And they're getting weak, I think, too top heavy and blowing over. But I got this one tied up pretty good. We're going to save all the seed off of this one. And that should be plenty enough for us anyways to plant again towards this winter, to go into the winter. The lettuce that we planted with the plugs, they're doing fantastic. They are really doing awesome. The other stuff is probably about time to get pulled. We're going to get some more off of there, but it's at that point where I think it's going to go to seed quick. Also, all the tomato plants that we tried to help and rescue, they all are doing good, which is awesome because I want them to help with the shading in here and shade a bunch of this. So I'm glad they're coming up because I was worried we were going to lose them with that other week when we got all that rain and it came down on them. So they're doing good. Yeah, basically everything else is going to seed. So we'll have to see what happens. Pull some seed off of some stuff. I don't think we're going to save any seed off of the Vitmachi and Minatina, but the rest of it we will, like onions. Like this is a lot of seeds. This is going to be crazy amount. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we should be good on onion seeds for next year. In Leroy's little plant, the borage came up really good, so we're going to try to keep this going good all summer. And my goal is to keep saving seed off it so we don't have to buy any more borage for next year. And this is looking like another flower coming through with 3 more heads on it.
Is that a zinnia?
I don't know. I was just wondering if that's a zinnia or not. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in here because I don't even know what this one is. I don't know exactly what's what because he planted a variety mix. So, due time will tell.
So all the herbs that we planted in pots, they still don't really have a home yet. They kind of been sitting out here, just kind of under the deck, and they're all doing really well. The basil seems to be turning yellow, I'm thinking, from the heat, but everything else seems to be doing really well. The lavender has purple flowers, which is so exciting. Last year our lavender never turned purple, and Lydia's been out here almost every day feeling it and smelling it. She just loves the way it smells, so I think I'm gonna have to make her a little something lotion or something with it. My parents gave me a couple peony plants, and we had planted those out a while ago, and they're starting to get bulbs, so that's really exciting. The ants, of course, love them, so they are pretty far from anything else.
So the hyssop is coming up really good. It took well to the soil there, which I figured it would. The zinnias, they're popping all the way up to about right here, and it looks like it's turning to marigolds. And the marigolds are just all coming up. I planted them so thick in here just to get a big bush of flowers basically.
So although we got most of our garden planted, our trellises, right when you come in the garden, don't have anything on them yet. There's only weeds growing out of the wood chips right here. So we're hoping to get our cucumber seeds planted. Last year we planted plants and they did pretty poorly, and that could have just been a coincidence, but we've always planted from seed before that. So we're hoping planting some cucumbers from seed in here will make for some really beautiful coverage as we walk into the garden. We were a little nervous about this cauliflower broccoli area when we were first planting it. We had some broccoli that were going to seed before we had even gotten it in the ground, but someone reminded me, they said, remember, broccoli leaves are really nutritious and you can eat those too. And it was just a good reminder. And then it reminded me we had been using broccoli stalks a lot in stir fry and things. It kind of tasted like a cooked bean sprout and we really liked that. So I thought, you know what, even though we've got some of these that are going to seed, that doesn't mean we're not going to get some great food off of them. And it does look like the other broccoli is doing well. We don't have any cauliflower heads yet, but some of the broccoli is just starting. These second-year onions that just came up on their own are starting to go to seed, so that is exciting. We'll be getting some seed from here. I thought they were all either a yellow or a white onion, but I'm seeing some red down towards the bottom of some of them. So this might just be a mix of onions. So very interesting to see what's going to come out of it. So the sunflowers are coming up really, really well in the back here. They're all scattered, sometimes a lot of sunflowers and then none and whatever. But I'm just happy we have some because I thought the chickens were going to eat all of them. Our beans are doing really well. I would say they're about 4 inches high, Matt. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, looks about it.
About 4 inches tall right now. So this is awesome. This will be the first time we ever have bush beans at the correct time of year. And then we planted our pepper plants and I was able to fit all of them in the garden. I didn't think we would be able to fit them, but we had the kids out here and they were helping plant. And if you can see, we did our best to keep a nice straight row, but it got a little wiggly. I'm not sure, but I was really grateful for their help. So I'm just hoping that these peppers come up and they do really well. So I'm forgetting already which row was which, but one of these was the California Wonder and one was the King of the North bell peppers. And then as we got down towards the bottom, we planted our lunchbox peppers and also the natapinos, which are supposed to be like a jalapeno, but not with the heat. Then I'll show you what we did with our spicy peppers. We had some leftover broccoli and I planted them down here in the shady part of the garden, and I just think it's funny that these ones are going to seed, about half of them, and then half aren't. But you would think these would be the ones that would be doing well. Our hot peppers, some of the plants were so super tiny they actually didn't come up very well. So I planted a couple Tabasco peppers right here, a row of jalapenos over here, and then a couple cayenne. So I don't know what it is about these big fuzzy spiders. I've never actually noticed them before, but we've seen a couple today, and there was one climbing over here in the bee house, and it doesn't appear that there's any bees in there, so hopefully it's not eating anything. I don't know. Our potato plants are absolutely huge, so I think we're gonna have to hill them up in the next couple days with some dirt. We've been trying to find some hay with no success. It's just, we haven't found it yet. So I think we're gonna have to pile them up with some dirt so we can get these buried a little better. Our onions that we started from seed are really growing and really doing well, but I'm not loving the way that we planted them. With these big patches, we've got a lot more weeds, so I think I'm gonna have to come in here with some wood chips and kind of wood chip around them a little bit. I also noticed the dirt is a lot drier than the other parts of the garden where I can dig in to the wood chips because the moisture is just not here. We ended up planting our tomato rows this way this year, and I'm really liking it. I really like this long pathway down the garden, and I think it will be really neat when the plants really start coming in. So this first trellis, we planted all our big, beautiful heirlooms. So most of these were Cherokee purple, and there's a few Italian heirloom on here. Then on our second trellis, we planted just the perfect circle tomatoes. On the first half, we planted Wisconsin Chief, and then on the second half, we planted the Trip L crop. And then with our Roma tomatoes, we made a whole row next to the peppers here, and they don't have a trellis. We're out of cattle panels, so last year what we did was we kind of just did the string rows. We'll probably do something similar, just depending on what we have time to get done. So this is going to be really nice. And right at the entrance of the Romas, we had one cherry tomato plant that came up. So we planted it right there so the kids can come right in the garden, pick their cherry tomatoes without having to run all the way down here.
So our garlic is doing fabulous, really good. I'm kind of worried about the yellowish stalks, but Sarah looked it up and said it should be fine yet. So we're just going to keep watering them as everything else until the drip line's in. You can see I got one drip tape here. It's just got to get hooked up. I got to put the baffle in. But anyways, our raspberries all came to flower. You can hear the bumblebees over there just going nuts and some honeybees. And the strawberries. I have never seen this many flowers in our strawberry bed ever. This is crazy.
So our golden spice pear tree we planted over here next to the edge of the garden. So it would hopefully be close enough to our pear tree. And unfortunately it came from the store with 3 pears on it. But here's what I'm finding below it. Just kind of dead, sad, broken pears. So that was kind of a bummer, but we weren't really expecting to get pears off those trees this year. Just hopefully an investment for our future. On the other hand though, these contender peach trees, I am just blown away by how well they're doing. They all have, I'm sorry, we only have 2. They both have quite a few peaches on them and they look really well. I don't know much about caring for peach trees, so we're definitely gonna have to learn a little bit about that. But I know in a local Minnesota gardening group, someone was asking about the contender peach, if it really is good for Minnesota. And so far, what I'm seeing, I am really excited about it. So excited to see what comes of these.